له النعمة وله الفضل وله الثناء الحسن وهو على كل شيء قدير. لا إله إلا الله مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Excuse me. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وآله وصحبه ومن والاه. اللهم افتح مسامع قلوبنا لذكرك. Ya Allah, please open the hearing channels of our hearts to your dhikr. Ameen. My dear brothers and sisters, the way we are inside of us, so shall be, or shall the world be outside of us. I repeat, the way we are inside of us, so shall we be outside, and shall the world be outside to us. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is related to have said, كن كيفما شئت فإن الله لك كما تكون أنت له ولعباده. Be as you want to be. Be what you want to be. Be however you want to be. Allah will be to you the way you are to Him and to His creatures. And what we are inside is what is most important, for that will determine what we are outside. لذلك قالوا من راقب الله في خطرات قلبه حفظه الله أو عصمه الله في حركات جوارحه. وإن شئت قلت من راقب الله في الخطرات حفظه الله في الحركات. It is said therefore that those who are mindful and cautious and guardians of what lies inside of them, of moods and the changes of moods inside of them at every heartbeat, those who are guardians of that and watchful for that, constantly and struggling to make sure that what's in the heart is consistent with divine attributes and divine values. Those who do that of us, then Allah Azza wa Jal will protect them outside, in their movements, in their choices, in their eyes, in their tongues, in their hands, in their legs, in their external conducts. Don't we all want that? The answer is, let me and you strive to guard Allah in our hearts. To strive to do that. من جاهد نفسه قد يرزقه الله المشاهدة. The person who struggles outside, Allah may grant him the gift of internal spiritual clarity and sight. But we have to struggle. My dear brothers and sisters, this is always most important. Always, no matter what the function you have is, no matter what your job is, no matter what your concerns are, whether alone or in public, whether in prosperity or in adversity, whether as a group or as an individual, this what counts most. This will reflect in everything else you are or you do. We are or what we do. Don't think that some ignorant amongst us might think that what does this have to do with real life? What does this have to do with this and that? Well, that's simple, forgive me to say, if there are those who think that way, that's simply intellectual immaturity, and most importantly, spiritual immaturity, and that the person is not grasping truly what this deen is about, and what values are all about. No matter who you are in history and in your life, what you are is what you are inside of your heart. And that we need to rectify. And Allah Azza wa Jal will judge us in accordance to that, because that will determine the way we are outside. Having said that, and to remember that all of the time, because Allah in the Quran, as you know, in so many places, reminds us of that. For example, when He says, إِنَّهَا لَا تَعْمَى الْأَبْصَارُ وَلَكِنْ تَعْمَى الْقُلُوبُ الَّتِي فِي الصُّدُورِ. It is not the external eyes that go blind, external things. It is the hearts inside the chest that go blind. That's why we do blind things, and we say blind things, and terrible things. And we use our eyes the wrong way, and we use our eyes to see and our ears to hear, but how are we going to analyze what we see and what we hear if our hearts are not in the right state, if our hearts are not in the right condition? And there are many other texts like that in the Quran, and one text of the Sunnah, and there are many texts in the Sunnah. ألا وإن في الجسد مضغة إذا صلحت صلح الجسد كله ألا وهي القلب, as Rasulullah said. There are many texts. We just pick a prototype text. As we took a prototype text from the Quran, we take a prototype text from the Sunnah, and that text teaches, indeed, in the human body there is a piece of chewed lump, a bite of flesh. If it is upright, then the person is upright. If it is corrupt, then the person is corrupt. And that is, he said, is the heart, is the qalb. So do you understand, my brothers, what I mean? And there are trillions, or let's say thousands, of examples to be applied under this rule in all aspects of life. So intelligent men and women receive the standardized theorem, and then you know how to apply it in different situations. And yet sometimes we do give specific examples, but we can never be exhaustive in listing the examples that come under this principle. So each one has to strive and learn, and alhamdulillah, be humble and implore Allah Azza wa Jal to learn more of how these are applied in real life. We need to do that. And part of what we need to do, may Allah bless you all, especially those of you all who are here and patiently waiting, is to learn. And is to have, the desire to learn and to have the proper attitude to learn. If, again, we use the houses of Allah Azza wa Jal as a missed opportunity to learning, Allah will hold us accountable. And if we use the houses of Allah Azza wa Jal as a terrible opportunity to unlearn good things or to teach horrible things also, we shall be held to account for sure in Akhirah, and maybe even in this dunya. So we need to spend time to learn. We need to be patient to learn. We need to be humble to learn. And we need to implore Allah to help us see truth when we hear it and to embrace it, and to help us see falsehood when we hear it and to keep away from it. And that we should always do. We should never rely on our own intelligence only and our own efforts. Those who rely on their own intelligence and efforts, wallahi, I assure you, you will always be disappointed if you're not already disappointed. And you will pay dearly. Don't be arrogant and deluded because of your IQ or because of your degree or because of your kava. Be careful. Use all of that humbly, patiently, and implore Allah for more. And that my efforts are necessary, but they're never sufficient. But they're never sufficient. Implore Allah for guidance all the time. Iblis knew a lot. Shaitan had a lot of knowledge, but he had a terrible heart. That heart was so arrogant and so deluded and so conceited. Arrogant يعني متكبر, deluded يعني مغرور, conceited يعني معجب, so that knowledge was used against him. And he misused knowledge. He misinterpreted knowledge. He mispracticed knowledge. Shaitan knows a lot. Humble ourselves to Allah Azza wa Jalla, and with every step that we learn, and we must learn, we implore Allah for humility and for guidance, and that He help us make the right choices. And finally, Allah tells us in what we recited in such beautiful but powerful way, وَيَوْمَ يُحْشَرُ أَعْدَاءُ اللَّهِ إِلَى النَّارِ فَهُمْ يُوزَعُونَ حَتَّى إِذَا مَا جَاءُوهَا شَهِدَ عَلَيْهِمْ سَمْعُهُمْ وَأَبْصَارُهُمْ وَجُلُودُهُمْ بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. A fact of existence. And I say existence because there is life after death. In that existence, Allah is telling us that whatever He's speaking to us through an example about the unbelievers, but that's meant for all of us, to tell us that by His qudra, by His divine power and knowledge that is beyond the laws of nature as we know them, and the laws of nature are whose laws? Allah's laws subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He gave us intelligence to discover some of those laws, but there are laws beyond our current ability and human intelligence to discern. In a realm of the beyond of existence, He tells us that our own skin will testify against us. He tells us our own skin. Skin, in other words, this skin is recording. This skin is recording what I say, what I do, and how I do, and what I feel. It's recording. My ears, he didn't say your ears, he didn't say your adhanukum. The sama, the audible system, the auditory system is a means also to record what we do. He didn't say your eyes, he said al-basar, the vision. That is also recording. And on the day of resurrection, Allah orders those in ways beyond our current knowledge. He will order those to replay or to play what it has recorded. You have a chip. What is a chip? What does have a chip? And you put a chip in a system, and that system knows how to read that which is in there, and then in a way that you and I can see it and hear it. But it's a chip. What's the skin? What's the sama? What's the basar? Well, Allah has the system by which He's going to replay everything. And He doesn't need a system, as you know. Kun fayakun. Be and it is. My skin will testify. My vision will testify. My hearing will testify. Now, my dear brothers and sisters, first of all, I ask you the question, does this have to be with anything else you can think about or not? Does this have to do with your work, your home, the masjid, political activity, mundane activity, da'wah activity, learning activity, teaching activity, social activity, political activity? Does this have to do anything with those? Does it? What do you think? Of course, because all of that is behavior. Behavior, words, thoughts, deeds, and all of that is recorded. Second thing, can I go somewhere without me? I go somewhere without me? Right? Even, forgive me, the worst of us knows the answer to that question. How can I be somewhere without me? Me being somewhere. Subhanallah. And that's the ultimate justice of Allah Azza wa Jal. Wherever you go, you are recording. When you're alone with whom? With you. You is recording. Allah told you that already. Alone. Everything is recording. Try to stop it from recording. Try to stop it from recording. I'm going to kill you. Even that is recorded. And it will be played back. My dear sisters and brothers, I say this to remind myself first. But I say this so that you and I all understand that no matter what we do, where we do, how we do, individually, collectively, at every level of your life, at work, at home, activities, grand activities or simple activities, administrative, managerial, you know what I mean. Everything you are recording about yourself. And then, وَإِلَيْهِ تُرْجَعُونَ. Because Allah tells us that when all of those will witness, and Allah will remind them and will remind us, you see, you were doing things without noticing that these were all testifying. And even when you knew, you didn't care that they were testifying. وَمَا كُنْتُمْ تَسْتَتِرُونَ أَنْ يَشْهَدَ عَلَيْكُمْ سَمْعُكُمْ وَلَا أَبْصَارُكُمْ وَلَا جُلُودُكُمْ. Nay, some of us erroneously and arrogantly thought, what does God have to do with all of these things? ولكن ظننتم أن الله لا يعلم كثيرا مما تعملون. You thought, well, I can do things and God doesn't know. He knows without these testifying, but so that on the day of judgment, lest you say, no, I want a witness. And what is the worst witness in this case than your own self? And so it will be. But some of us will be told, you did not you did not conceal yourself. You did not care that these were recording, that these were going to testify. ولكن ظننتم أن الله لا يعلم كثيرا مما تعلمون وذلكم ظنكم الذي ظننتم بربكم أرداكم فأصبحتم من الخاسرين. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my dear brothers and sisters, protect us and guard us and help us change the qualities of our lives in such a way that no matter what we do, where we do it, I'm going to repeat this. I just feel that some of us are not getting it. I'm going to repeat it again. No matter what we do, where we do, how we do, and emphasize what we do. He knows. And we are to be held accountable for that. And these are witnessing, and these are testifying on the day of judgment. Whether the activity is individual or collective. Whether we think about it as something minor or something major. Because some of us don't want to be reminded of these things. But talk to us about this and that. No, this is what I want to talk about. Some of us are afraid to be reminded of these realities. Because they remind us of us, whether we do in politics, or we do in psychology, or we do in administration, or we do in business, or we do in medicine, or in engineering, or anything. Talk to us about big things. This is the biggest of things. Because that helps you watch yourself and helps you make the right choices and helps you be restrained and helps you at the same time be free in the noble sense of freedom, not in the haqir, low, base sense of freedom. And please allow me to keep reminding myself as I remind you about these matters. I know most of you, if not all of you, have alhamdulillah one day committed yourselves, remember, and asked for a show of hands, and that you all pledged allegiance to uphold these values. Did I ask you something wrong? No. Do you still uphold that? Raise your hands. All of us. Because Ya'lam Allah, I love for you that which I love for myself. And that's what I strive for. That the moment I leave this dunya, my heart connected to Allah. Where I have not wronged any human being to the best of my ability. Where I have not wronged any dog, any ant. And where I have not wronged my relationship with Allah Azza wa Jal. I want, the moment I leave this dunya, I leave it in that condition. And that which I share with you. May Allah help us accept it and help us walk it. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.